Let's get comfy. Feels so professional.
We look
Dapper.
We look dressed up today. This is not normal. We didn't get just dressed up just to, do this podcast.
Yes, we did.
What are we doing today?
I'm just kidding. We're getting branding photos done.
Much needed. You look very nice.
You look very wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
This looks completely different than how we were dressed when we were driving around the country for our elopement road trip.
I was a goblin for like 7 days.
You like that segue?
Yes. That's good. Yeah, we're going to talk about our elopement and then
so
our
much fun
18-day cross-country
it was
adventure.
It felt like we were gone for so long.
It did and it didn't.
It was
I
weird.
couldn't
agree more.
And I was saying the other day too, like how, and I think this is why I've tried to get better about documenting things for like ourselves, because obviously it's our life documenting stuff for everyone else, that like I don't want to carry my camera around. I don't want to do anything when like we're off.
It's exhausting.
It's heavy.
By the time you're done with all the weddings and other stuff, it's hard to be creative sometimes. That's a whole other episode we could talk about, creative block. But
I'm sure there's a lot of vendors and people out there, creatives, that feel the same way.
Burnt out.
Not even like burnt out.
Yeah,
but
maybe not burnt out.
Yeah, just
tired.
You don't want to do it for yourself. Some creatives might feel the same way, as far as just like it's hard to document your own life and like celebrate your own life, because you're doing it for other people. So I mean,
it is.
I don't think we're alone in that.
Even at the end of a road trip, I felt like getting the drone out. I was like, forget it. Let's just.
But it was so worth it.
But it was so worth it.
But no, I'm really. I was thinking about it the other day because I watch our elopement, or our wedding film. It kind of covers our elopement, but also like our whole road trip and adventure after. I watch it often because I feel like it wasn't even that long ago, or coming up on a year, but I feel like I don't remember it. Like I do, but I don't, because it was so much. Like I remember our elopement and our wedding pretty well. Like it doesn't feel like it's like a distant memory, but like the adventure after, there was so much stuff that we saw and experienced, and I feel like my brain was just like on overload. I feel like the same thing when we went to Italy, because you're like,
you're trying to process everything, and
it's these just beautiful like wonders of the world that we were seeing, national parks and just the hikes we did and stuff. So I don't know. I'm really glad it was documented, because it's so great
to look back.
It's a great way to like kind of put it, though, because same thing with wedding days, right? Like it goes by fast.
That's
so
you're not gonna. Point.
Nice segue. I didn't even mean to do that.
Can we get the
yeah, anyways, but I'm really glad that we did what we did. It wouldn't be for everyone, it's not everyone's probably jam, but why did you want to elope?
It's definitely a unique alternative kind of thing to do. I don't think it's as mainstream as, I think it's becoming more mainstream. Which I love to see as well. Like I like that it's becoming a choice. You know what I mean? Like I like that that's an option now.
Well, eloping back in the day was like super scandalous.
Oh, it was scandalous in 2012. I had a high school teacher that eloped, and he was
drama.
He was Italian, like we were.
Oh no!
And his family was like horrified. Like
it was a big, I think, slap in the face to a lot of families, because you got to include the family. Granted, we eloped, but we did have an after party.
Yeah, we had an after party for sure,
which was kind of like a wedding, a small wedding. But
the feeling of being out there for me was incredible, and it almost felt like, not to get like all woo-woo-y and whatever, but I definitely felt like we were meant to go out there. Like it felt,
100%.
I felt called to it,
yeah.
And it felt like it was almost like done, like before it had even happened.
I've told you that I was always called to Colorado, and I had visited Colorado with a girlfriend, like a year before we ended up getting married there. We eloped.
It was about a year, yeah.
Yeah, we eloped at Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs, and I just always was called to Colorado before we had even met. And I just think it's funny that that's where we were like, and that's where you proposed. It was just always like a full
special.
circle.
Yeah, we were meant to be there for sure.
Colorado's awesome.
It's a special place. And then continuing to go out west even more and seeing things that we were both experiencing for the first time together was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like, we'll never forget the feeling of waking up in Moab and waking up in whatever BLM camp we were staying in.
Yeah, for those that don't know, BLM camping is basically like public land.
Yeah, so it's like the Bureau of Land Management. There's a whole part of the, I guess, the public recreational
It's
stuff.
big out there. Yeah, but just public land that you technically, like, a lot of people that do van life and stuff just like live.
It is,
like,
it's the Bureau.
The Bureau.
It's the Bureau of Land Management, and I think it's just a agency. And
it's just public land.
Yeah, it's public.
Yeah, no, we actually had a really good app. I think it was called Outlier, something like that.
We'll put it in the
I don't remember.
actual video.
I think it was Out something. I can picture the logo.
But it was so easy to find all the spots.
Very helpful because other people leave their, where they've been, and they kind of like leave a review on it, or like, was it good? Is it dirt road? Like, depending on their car.
Can you access it? Yeah, we
like,
were in our Honda HRV. Made it happen.
We call her Harriet. Harriet's the chariot because
she's an OG. She was built good.
She was built good. She took us safely across the country and is way more roomy than you'd think. You see that car from the outside and you're like, oh, it's just like a small SUV.
It's pretty comfortable.
We car camped and we're not like large people. I mean, but it's just like, I'm very like short. I'm 5 foot. You're
5'9".
5'9".
On a good day.
So, we slept really, we got like actually a mattress that was like fitted, an air mattress that fitted to the back of like the car. I mean, it was some of our best sleep. I was nervous. I was like, well, this is a true test of marriage because, let's elope and then like drive across the country. And I'm going to look like a goblin for at least 7 of those days because,
Yeah.
And you're like, you're pretty. And I'm like, you're not, you're blind. I should pull up exactly all the places we went.
We can pull up some photos too. But it was just incredible. Back to your point about the sleeping, like, you're just out there.
Yeah.
There's no towers. There's no city. There's no noise. It's just stars and nature and the most peaceful sleep you could ever ask for. It was pretty incredible.
What was your favorite memory from not the elopement, but like the actual road trip portion?
Ooh,
it's tough.
That's a great question. I think that Utah bit, we had a bit of probably like 3 or 4 days in Utah. Like, we were going through Moab, then we went to Zion. Like, there was like that like 3 or 4 day stretch that I really enjoyed. My favorite part was probably sleeping at Arches. And that
right outside of Arches,
that sleep was incredible, and just being out there with it, seeing it for the first time. I think Utah was really special. Wow. What was your favorite part? Here we go.
I really liked something that actually was not on the itinerary. You're probably going to know what I'm going to say. It was an unexpected.
Those dunes?
No, that was cool. That was really cool.
Probably
that was coral sand dunes. Yeah, that was a stop off we didn't plan, but no, the hot air balloon.
That was incredible.
This is, I think, our second night. I think it was our second night camping in Moab, and we were on the BLM, open public land. Went to bed, camped, in the car, and so it's kind of like, just picture, like you wake up and the sun is rising because like we had outfitted our car with like almost shades and like you transformed the car at night into a little tent, a little camper. And I remember us waking up because the sun was up, and we both kind of naturally wake up when the sun is rising anyway. And
as one should,
but sometimes you don't want to. Yeah. But we woke up and like we noticed probably 200 feet away, 300 feet away, like people, like it looked like construction workers. We didn't know what it was, setting something up. And Nick's like, oh, they're doing like construction work. We're like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
I'm like, what do you mean construction
maybe they're, like,
work?
Fixing the road or something?
What road? What are we? And and I realized when I saw the colors of what they were like setting up, I was like, that's a hot air balloon.
It was in fact not construction.
So this was basically like a tour, like people were meeting them at sunrise for a sunrise hot air balloon ride, setting up 300 feet from our car. It was the most magical, couldn't have planned, experience to wake up to in the middle of like a desert, essentially. That was really, really special for me. And like, again, like taking in the moment and like documenting it, because I did, but like also then just being like present.
Totally present. Yeah.
So that was really special. And then I really enjoyed Arches National Park. I loved Zion, but Zion was definitely more like mainstream and a little more like Disney World.
It definitely was like very
national parks.
refined. Yeah.
But it was really, really beautiful. I felt like we were in Jurassic Park. And then I think the Salt Flats, the Bonneville Salt Flats,
cool.
where we got so lucky with truly like the most amazing reflective sunset because it had just rained. So if you've ever been to the Salt Flats or you're familiar with the Salt Flats, it's right on the border of Utah and Nevada.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it can be super dry and look like a desert, or when it rains, it's reflective. So we got lucky with the reflection, and it was like a cotton candy sky, and you got like the coolest drone footage probably ever.
My favorite drone shot, 100%.
So special. So yeah, I mean, all of it was honestly really awesome. There was one car camping night.
Is that the end?
When it rained,
Wasn't it?
and that was not my favorite.
That was we did 2 days in Zion, I think.
Maybe that was the last.
And we were struggling.
We were
by that
supposed to
point.
car camp, I think, like 5 or 6 nights, and I think we made it 4.
I think we did 4.
And I was like, I think I want to go to an Airbnb now or hotel. We stayed, but you know what?
did
It
a good
worked
job.
out. It worked out because we got an extra day in Sedona, Arizona, which was magical.
Really special.
Such a
too.
cool town. So that was worth it. But I do have the list of every place that we went.
Nice.
I don't know if that's
Let's read it off.
okay. So we started obviously in Jacksonville. We drove to Nashville, Kansas City, Cimarron, Kansas, Colorado Springs, Garden of the Gods, paint mines within Colorado Springs, or just outside of Colorado Springs. We drove through the Monarch Pass, Continental Divide, Emerald Lake, Crested Butte, Colorado.
Crested Butte was crazy.
The elevation.
That elevation was wild.
We stayed a night. Now
great.
I was like, I don't feel good.
I think it was like what 10,000 feet.
I think it was 14. It was a lot.
It was high.
It was I think it was our highest point just for
sure.
that trip because it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Canyonlands National Park, Dead Horse Point State Park, Arches National Park, Tipple Fork Reservoir, Bonneville Salt Flats. We did a quick stopover in Nevada and then came back. Meadow Hot Springs, Zion National Park, Coral Pink Sand Dunes State Park was the one that wasn't on the list, but we stumbled upon. Lower Antelope Canyon was really
Incredible.
cool. Actually, that was another really good memory.
Yeah.
Really special. One of my favorite photos probably from the trip too. There's a few, but
that was pretty good.
Yeah. Horseshoe Bend, finished with the Grand Canyon, and then Sedona, Arizona, and then made our way. This is the beginning of our trek back. Sedona, Arizona was like the last like stop that was like of note, and then Roswell, New Mexico, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, and then back to Jax. I can't believe we did this.
I
look at him like,
how?
I'm like, oh, and I did a little recap. It says 18-day road trip honeymoon, eloped in Colorado. We drove 6,008 miles total. All Nick.
No, you did the last 100.
He let me drive home the last 2 hours. I was like, I feel like you should take this home. You did the whole way, but you love driving, so
I don't mind. Yeah.
I am a carpoleptic. I like to fall asleep in the car.
We make a good team.
So sorry. I'm a horrible road trip person.
But after you were reading that off, it is crazy to think that we actually did that. Like listening to you say that, I'm like,
it's a lot.
Of stuff.
It's very long.
But in any other way, how would you be able to see as much as you could? It was an amazing experience to be able to take that time to go see that, because those have been on our bucket list collectively forever.
It was a huge bucket list, being able to cross off so many things, and in a chunk of time that we were off from weddings. This is why we chose to elope when we did. The weather was actually good.
Perfect.
You know, like
best weather.
It's not like we just like sacrificed weather or timing of it. It was really good. So, but yeah, we drove 6,008 miles, drove through 15 states, 24 total destinations visited. We stayed in one adorable Airbnb, one tiny house, 8 hotels, and 4 nights of car camping in Moab, Zion, and the Salt Flats.
Nice.
Camping at the Salt Flats was really special.
I think that was our best night of camping.
Correct. So We were at the farthest point we possibly could have been. Probably, 2,500 miles out.
I'd say it was about 2,500. We can look. Let's
It was
fact
far.
check that.
But we parked at, we'd just gotten there. We got there probably a few hours before sunset. We were just hanging out because, just wanted to experience it, fly the drone, whatever. And this family, like, piles out of their car next to us. They parked next to us and they're like, "Are you from Jacksonville?" And we were like,
it was insane.
We were like, wait, like, how do
I was like, how did you know that?
And they're like, "Oh, we saw your Honda at the Avenues license plate frame that they just kind of include on your car when you buy it." And I'm like, wow, free advertising across the country.
I know. They know what they're doing.
They go to our Publix. They literally live
they live down the street.
20 minutes away.
So we were 2,350 miles away from home.
It's ridiculous. So it is the smallest,
and they're our
biggest
neighbors.
world. Yes. So that was really cool.
So special.
So, what led us to make this decision for us? Because I feel like
That's
if
a great
anyone else was
question.
interested in doing something like this, maybe not this exactly, but, or just eloping, you don't have to do an 18-day extreme road trip across the country, although we do recommend. So
10 out of 10 recommend.
yes, 10 out of 10, like once in a lifetime experience.
Repeat. I'm sorry. Can you say
No, it's good. What made you like want to and do this and be on board like with doing what we did?
An elopement? Mm-hmm. I think, first of all, I was called out to that area of the country. Mm-hmm. I've always felt called to be there. I can't really describe it. Some people have weird premonitions and things about like, oh, like
intuition.
Intuition. Like I felt like I was meant to be there. Yeah. I definitely felt called to be out west. For that, the fact that we were both called to be to Colorado separately and then come back to it together, I think that's really special.
Yeah.
So I think that was a huge part of it. And then a celebration of our love. Like, it was so beautiful to be in a setting that was so beautiful. Like, that was such a representation of the love that we have for each other.
No, I mean, you nailed it. I couldn't agree more. It's really special.
What about you?
No, I mean, I feel the same way. I think that that's like a really good way to describe it. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to add. I mean, I think that we both probably knew that we probably didn't want a big wedding. We kind of went back and forth like briefly if we were going to do a small wedding here, or if we were going to elope. And then we're like,
it would have been a backyard deal.
Something like that. Yeah. Or kind of like what we did for our after party. I mean, listen, our wedding after party, we called it our elopement after party.
Yeah.
Was kind of a wedding, I mean, we did another ceremony for family and friends.
Very small ceremony.
We did it at our house.
Yep.
We have a really cute front porch and it worked out really well. And, we had like 30 people, I think, for the ceremony portion, and then probably 80 people, which was more than I wanted, but it's okay. It was everyone that was close to us and that we loved, for the like after party.
It looked great. Yeah, the room looked incredible.
It was everything. I mean,
that many people in that space was probably as much as you could have done.
Yeah, I think it was. I wanted it to feel intimate.
It was so intimate.
And like we were all at one table, which I think was accomplished. And shout out to our amazing vendors that we had for our day. But it
was nice to have our family and closest friends with us.
That was important.
To celebrate and to have at least a small gathering together. We still had an amazing time. Yeah, even having to, or with Mexican food and silent disco.
Yes.
So
and lots of florals.
So grateful for everyone who made that possible.
Look who's joining us.
Oh, hello.
Come here. Come say hello. Come here.
But I think it's just so special that we got to experience new places together as we were beginning a new chapter of our lives together.
Oh, yeah.
As one.
Well,
I think that's the huge benefit of eloping, somewhere special and unique to both of you.
It was awesome.
It was so much fun.
Want to do it again?
I can't wait to get back out to Moab.
I know.
Back out to
I want to explore Arizona more. We didn't get too much time in Arizona, but I did love Sedona. Sedona was really special.
Sedona was incredible. Yeah, I would love to get back out there.
Junie would like Sedona.
One day.
Magical kitty.
One day we'll get you out there, Junie.
She's all right. I think this was good.
Any final parting thoughts that you want to?
I think my parting words would be my parting words. My parting words would be for any couples that are engaged or, soon to be engaged, whatever it may be. Basically, on the trek of venturing to plan your wedding, do what you want to do and don't listen to other people. And it's about you too, ultimately. Truly. I mean, too many hands, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many, it's too much. So like
do what sets your heart on fire.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you will have no regrets. So I will say I've never heard of anybody regretting to elope. We're a little biased, but we support and see all angles of it. And listen, I mean, we didn't fully elope. We did have an after party that was like a wedding. So I mean, like to truly just elope, kudos, because it's tough.
We did not.
We had a after party. So, but there is that option. So you can have best of both worlds. So yeah, just do whatever you guys want to do and that suits you best, because
whatever's best for you guys.
Weddings create a lot of opinions, and you don't want to always listen to everyone else. You should listen to what you ultimately want to do.
Everyone's gonna say, oh, you should do this, yes. You should do that. You got to follow what feels right to you and what feels right in your heart. In your heart what you should be doing and
100%
what's right. So
yep.
I think that'll wrap this one up.
Yep.
Until next time.
Junie says bye.
We out. Farewell, everyone.